Pendle Hill. Pendle Hill is located in the United Kingdom of East Lancashire, England. While being classified as a hill, its summit is only a few metres short of being classified as a mountain. Pendle Hill has been a dominating figure in this area of Lancashire since the Bronze Age. It is steeped in history, folklore and legends. Each year on Halloween, thousands of people trek to the summit as a yearly ritual and tradition, usually dressed as witches. This is because of an event that took place 400 years ago. While most people around the world are familiar with the Salem witch trials in the English colonies of North America, the trials of the Pendle Witches took place almost 100 years earlier. The trials of the Pendle Witches in 1612 are among the most famous witch trials in English history, and some of the best recorded in the 17th century. The 12 accused lived in the area surrounding Pendle Hill and were charged with the murders of 10 people by the use of witchcraft. It started in March 1612. Alison, one of the accused witches, cursed a peddler while begging, who would not give her any pins for her clothes. The peddler later collapsed of a stroke, and his son reported it to the local magistrate called Roger Nowell. Roger Nowell interviewed Alison, who confessed to bewitching the peddler and also accused her neighbours of bewitching and killing 4 people. The neighbours then pointed the finger straight back at Demdike. Demdike was supposedly the leader of the Pendle Witches. The witches were later arrested and taken to Lancaster Castle. They were found guilty of murder by witchcraft and hanged. Although Demdike, aged 80, had died in prison at Lancaster whilst awaiting trial. In 2004, a popular TV show called Most Haunted even conducted an investigation into the hill.
This is Halloween weekend and we've come to a place that is steeped in 1,000 years of history. This place is Clitheroe in Lancashire and it's overlooked by the very mysterious and foreboding Pendle Hill.
Shows from what our research has revealed to be the most significant paranormal location in the country. That's right, we've come to Pendle Hill. It's a towering, looming mountain dominating the landscape here in Lancashire, and it's surrounded by deep and terrifying paranormal mythology. This weekend is particularly significant because tradition dictates that revellers gather on the top of Pendle Hill on Halloween night to witness powerful paranormal occurrences. And we're here to investigate those.
Dark, ominous, foreboding. These are the fitting words to describe Pendle Hill. It rises like a gravestone from the peaceful valleys of Lancashire and casts a terrifying shadow across all who see it. The hill has been the epicentre of paranormal activity, with ghosts, monsters, lights, sounds and horrific creatures dominating histories of the area. It is most famous though for the Pendle Witch story, in which a group of locals were ruthlessly and savagely tried and hanged in Tudor times. 400 years later, the locals still speak in hushed tones about this dark part of their history. Pendle Hill stands like a paranormal beacon, touching all who see it with a sense of bleak sadness, of spiritual malaise, of dark fear. It is without doubt one of the most haunted places in Britain.
This whole area around Pendle has been touched by the story for the last 400 years. The story revolves around 2 families whose distrust of each other spilt over into a fully fledged witch hunt. Many members of the families were arrested and eventually hanged. A week before the hanging, the families and the friends of the accused buried the hatchet, and they met somewhere in this area, and it's alleged that they cast spells, charms and rituals and dabbled with dark arts. In 1612, Britain and Europe were in political turmoil. The church and politicians were clashing, and political paranoia led to a savage and brutal inquisition against the perceived threat of witchcraft, and thousands of people lost their lives. 2 rival poor families in the Pendle Hill area, known as the Chattocks and Demdikes, found themselves caught up in this purge, and their mutual recriminations eventually found them accused of practicing the dark arts. Once in court, they never petitioned their innocence, and they were savagely hanged. It's a harrowing story and one which has reverberated down the generations, but the crucial thing about these witches is that they never protested their innocence, and there's a very strong feeling in these parts that they were genuine, malevolent witches.
There are many stories and tales surrounding Pendle Hill, and in this video series I will be exploring the most famous and creepy of them.
Old Pendle, thou standest alone, 'twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Cole, where Hodder and Ribble's fair waters do meet, with barley and Downham content at thy feet. Old Pendle, majestic, sublime, thy praises shall reign to the end of all time. In beauty eternal thy banner unfurl, thou dearest and grandest old hill in the world.